Hi, folks. Welcome to module number 7. So we're finally here at the week where you learn how to move through a difficult conversation. So in the previous weeks, you've learned how to figure out what your purpose and interests are, how to map the power in your organization so you know which conversations you need to have to advance particular goals and interests. You've planned meetings, you've primed everybody, you've gotten everything, you're all there, everybody's there. Now, how do you move people through a conversation? So that's what you'll be learning about this week. And I encourage you that really we're going to give you ideas. I'm going to give you ideas and concepts and strategies this week. But the real power of this week's work is when you use them so frequently that they become habitual. And it's really important for them to become habitual because in heated conversations, that's when our instincts kick in, and the things that we're most used to doing are the things that we're going to keep doing. And it also, if these have become almost second nature, then they'll help you'll feel calmer in doing them. So the good news here is that the strategies I'm going to recommend for broaching a difficult conversation and inviting others to speak and expressing yourself clearly and then closing the conversation, those are strategies you can use in all the relationships of your life and in all of the gatherings that you facilitate, not just contentious ones. Important note, this module is really about how do you have a fairly relatively unstructured, difficult conversation. So how do you just say, here's what we'd like to talk about, make space for someone else to talk, make space for you to talk, work constructively with whatever content is generated from that, and move toward a closing. That's relatively unstructured compared to, say, a fishbowl or like a mediation between parties where there's a third party facilitator, or a panel discussion where you've intentionally selected people to represent different positions, or even a structured debate. There are a lot of ways of being more structured about the conversations, of creating more structure that can hold difficult conversations. But what you're going to learn in this module is what to do in just your sort of most basic, most informal conversation that can get heated. The nice thing about that one is that it is very useful for planned conversations. But secondly, if you find yourself to your surprise in a moment where everything is heated and you didn't expect it to be a difficult conversation, you didn't expect the conflict, it just like kind of showed up, you can still use all of these strategies for working through a conversation. So with that, I'll leave you to it. Enjoy the module.